What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is January 4th of 2018. Well, folks, it's time for a daily update here on the DataDash channel, and whereas I usually spend time to talk about news or headlines in the cryptocurrency space, there really isn't much going on in regards to headlines or news. But there is one thing that's trending, and that is price action. You don't need me to tell you that. I know many of you out there are watching the charts 24/7. I know many of you are curious as to what you should hold next or what you should buy or get into, and it's just a very fast market. Things are moving extremely quick. But as always, you know my job here is to keep you all on a level-headed approach, not tell you what to do, but keep you level-headed and not get caught in the FOMO or FUD and the emotion of the market, because that's how you lose. That's how you lose money. So I want to spend some time to step back, let you all know how I feel in this market, and just cut out the emotion. I will first and foremost say that this has been, so far, the greatest and most exuberant bull run I've ever seen in history, period. I have traded in traditional stock markets. I've gotten interested in things like Forex, where you exchange foreign currencies, as well as commodities markets, and all kinds of different things that you can trade and invest in. But I have never seen, even in crypto markets, even comparative to back in April, May, and June, I have never seen a bull run like we've seen now, folks. Because we're talking about much larger valuations, and we're talking about even larger percentage gains comparative to what we saw back in April, May, and June. It is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you just can take a look here, not only at the market cap and the market leaders, but just over the past 24 hours. Look at the kind of gains this market is providing. It is just something I've never seen before, guys. I'm keeping very humble and real with you all. And you just go down the list here. It's hard to find things that are in the red. And a lot of these are, old players in the market, money that's cycling into new players. So we are not experiencing any down days in this market, folks. It is absolute exuberance, absolute hype, and I got to be fair, it's a little bit of greed in this market. There's a lot of greed in regards to the fact that people are willing to pay so much of a premium because they're betting on the price going even higher. And when markets move continuously up and up and up, it seems like there's no chance that it could go down. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going bearish on the market. I'm still optimistic on things. However, let's go ahead and take it with a little bit of a level-headed approach and look at some numbers, as I usually do. I try to, again, not get caught up in saying, oh, everything's just going to the moon or it's all crashing. It doesn't make sense. We need to look at logic. We need to look at numbers, and we need to have a good fundamental understanding as a community and understanding where this market might be going. So first and foremost, before I go on here and I talk about any individual cryptos, let's go ahead and take a look at the global charts. We can obviously see, and I'll go ahead and refresh it so we get the most up-to-date number. Crypto markets are doing quite well. Over the past 7 days, we have gone from a $560 billion valuation up $200 billion to a $767 billion valuation. Massive stuff, folks. This is huge. And not to mention, over the past 24 hours, we've gone from a $709 billion valuation all the way up to $767 billion. So, just casual $50 billion plus dollars in valuation added to crypto. Normal day in crypto, I guess. But I mean, this is definitely not something to write off, guys. We've definitely been killing it. Now, to be fair with you all, like I said, I'm not bearish on this market, and I still believe we have a ways to go. And what is the target I'm looking for? Well, it's the big even that I think many of us are looking for with this market cap, and we are moving rapidly and rapidly towards on this bull run. And that is $1 trillion. That would not only be a big headline to take home to mom, but along with that as well, I think it's the big even that all of us are looking towards. That's where I think we're going to start seeing some resistance. We could move a little bit higher than it. We could. But I think that's the level we're looking for, guys. The momentum in this market is real. The volume's coming in. And we still have yet to really see institutions come into cryptocurrencies. That's the interesting thing here, is that institutions have yet to pour capital into these markets outside of Bitcoin futures. And that says something. That's very interesting to see that, without Wall Street really getting involved, we're moving up this quick. And this has been a lot of it by altcoins. If we exclude Bitcoin here, this is where the majority of the valuation is really coming in. Altcoins have moved up over $200 billion, practically $200 billion over the past 7 days. It's crazy. It's awesome stuff. And because of this, we've seen Bitcoin's dominance come down. So going towards my whole kind of theory of $1 trillion, I have a few things to back it up. First and foremost, we're seeing much like what we saw back here in May, back in April, May, and June. where altcoins are starting to gain traction, and because of that, Bitcoin is losing its dominance. Now, the other factor, as I've been telling you all to watch here, we're still set on our target for at least 25% in this market, especially as we go towards $1 trillion valuation, hopefully. Again, I've been saying for a while that altcoins, over the past few months, this is something that I know I've been claiming on the channel, is that I believed altcoins were very overdue for a run-up. But I never experienced, I never expected to see something like we're seeing now, folks. But it's coming through. The exuberance is there. The optimism is there. And because of that, I think Bitcoin is easily going to drop below 30% dominance. And if we really get the altcoin run-up that some of us are expecting, we could see Bitcoin dominance go down to the high 20% range. Which really, I mean, at this pace, guys, just think about how short-term this really is. Back in December 8th, Bitcoin was holding 64% of the market. It's now holding less than, or around half of that dominance it had. And now other coins are moving very rapid towards that 25% figure we were looking for. So the question is whether or not in this growth evaluation in the market, the extra addition we're looking for up towards $1 trillion, which is, from where we are at now, $760 billion, or 770 if you want to round it off, is a good other $230 billion in valuation. So where's that going to come in? Well, some of it could come into Bitcoin. Some of it could come into altcoins, maybe the top 10 leaders. But I think, again, most of that is going to come into the other coins. The other ones excluded out of the top 10 coins. The reason for that being is because there's a lot more competition, a lot more opportunity, a lot more other competing currencies. You've got thousands of currencies you're playing with outside of the top 10 that have their own opportunities and their own tech and their own offers that they bring to the table. So again, you have a lot of opportunity there, not to mention the market leaders right now. If we're talking about exuberance or a little bit of irrational price action, take a look at Ripple. Take a look at Ethereum. And as much as I love it, I hate to say it, Cardano. Like Neem, Stellar, Tron. Tron is up over 155%. Ripple up 28%, all the way up to a $141 billion valuation. These are the things that are a little bit ridiculous in the market. We need to keep an eye out and be careful on. Again, I've been telling you all, I know Ripple's gone up a little bit before, even when I talked about it potentially being overvalued. But do you really want to buy something after it's gone up this much? Is this when you want to get into something, when you want to add your position? I sure know it isn't mine personal objective to add at these kind of levels. Again, you can make that decision for yourself. That's the great thing about this, guys. I don't know everything. I'm just a person, again, at the end of the day. A lot of this is just me kind of, sticking to my guns here. I follow principles. If you want to take risk and trade outside of the normal kind of patterns that you might usually trade, it's all you. These markets are moving very fast and they're breaking every single expectation I even had for things. So again, my objective in very simple terms, that too long did not read, is to avoid the overvalued leaders in the market and look towards the other coins, the cheaper ones, the $10 to $100 million valuation coins, not the multi $10 to $100 billion coins. So in that regard, I'm not looking up here. I'm looking down here. I'm going downwards into the list, and I'm trying to find different cryptocurrencies that I think have opportunity on a fundamental sense, and then also in sometimes a technical sense as well. So we'll take a look at some of those later on. I've made 2 swing trades today that I'm optimistic on. We'll talk about inside the daily update, and I'll share with you all my strategy behind it. But first and foremost, let's take a look here at Bitcoin, because this is something that we have to keep an eye on. So Bitcoin right now found support again on the 200-hour as well as the 100-hour. And what we're looking for here is, we can obviously see on the hourly, Bitcoin is wedging in price action. We're going to see whether or not Bitcoin will get stopped out again here at the resistance line and hold down towards lower levels, and might break down back here to 13,000, or if it's going to break up through here. Again, watch that wedge, guys. This is the determiner. If it continues to hold well on these hourly moving averages, and in fact finds support on the 50 and breaks through, then altcoins might be seeing the end of their run-up, and Bitcoin might take over, it might take charge. But if Bitcoin sees resistance up here and gets knocked down again, this will mean an extended altcoin run. This will mean a continuation of the same old, same old. We're going to see market leaders do well. We're going to see all other coins continue to rise up and continue to gain valuation, most likely. That's at least my thesis on it. Bitcoin will continue, of course, to lose dominance if it's going down and altcoins are moving up. So I think we're going to see a continuation of the wedge more than anything, guys. Again, I'm sticking to my guns. I think altcoins still have a little bit more room to go, even though it's getting a little more risky. But again, if you feel like altcoins are a little overvalued right now, maybe you want to kind of mitigate your risk. Maybe look into hopefully owning some Bitcoin. I know I always own a good Bitcoin position. I could have, yes, tossed some of my Bitcoin in altcoins, but I don't do that. I stick to my guns. Always maintain around a 20% holding in Bitcoin. That's always an important thing for me. So let's go ahead here, take a look at some of the market leaders. Ethereum running at pretty much, I was going to say all-time highs, and USD valuation all-time highs, but comparative to Bitcoin, very well, performing very well above the 200-day, the 100-day, and the 50-day moving averages. What I would generally look for, again, is to hopefully see this, as much as I was hoping for this to pull back down to the 200-day, what it's looking like now is that Ethereum wants to get above here, and it wants to hold at this previous level up here. Now, again, it's facing previous support, which is now acting as resistance. You've got to see whether or not it can get above there. So I think it's a risky trade here. But if it gets above there and finds support at 7 million Satoshis, Ethereum could be maybe a good comparative trade to Bitcoin. But again, it's had a really nice run up over the past few days. Let's take a look here at Ripple. Probably should have taken a look at that first. I don't have too much to say, guys, outside of the fact that, oh boy, does this look like we're repeating history over here. Again, like I said back here, guys, there was the opportunity to trade this and stuff. I did not want to take the risk to it, though. I really do not at these levels. You got to keep in mind the volume is decaying here, and a lot of the people who bought cheap over here can easily drop the price. The whales that bought back here on the low end of things, whereas a lot of other people have FOMO'd in up here, you've got to be real careful with it, guys. Just saying that as a, your friend here. I'm not trying to say, oh, I just don't like Ripple. Again, at a market sense, this is very worrisome to be buying at such high levels up here after Ripple has gone more than 10x its valuation. It's huge. So Bitcoin Cash, again, oops, sorry, let me get a chart here where I can get some good price action. On Bitfinex here, Bitcoin Cash, again, the only thing I could see out of this is a potential swing trade opportunity. I'm waiting for it to hit the 50-day right here. Looks like it's not getting too much excitement with this altcoin market. Other players are getting all of the capital and excitement, whereas it's just kind of holding relatively well comparative to Bitcoin. I'm looking for that 50-day contact around 15 million Satoshis, and maybe we could get a swing trade up towards the higher range. Not touching it right now, though. Alrighty. After that, let's go ahead and take a look at the new 5th place owner here in the crypto space, and that is ADA or Cardano. Again, we talked about this earlier in the video, guys. I'm so happy to see, out of all projects, Cardano doing well. Love the project long term. Again, big fan of Charles, big fan of the team behind Cardano. I keep up with them probably more than any other project out in the space. But again, you're asking me in my trading format, guys. I'm not going to be buying something that's up more than 10x. That was already a multi-billion-dollar currency. This is now sitting around, I think, the upper $20 billion range, close to $30 billion. The time to buy was back here when we talked about it, guys. When we talked about it back about almost a month ago now. It's not time to buy it when it's at all-time highs, okay? At least in my mind. Again, you can take that risk, but obviously check over the past, let's take the 15-minute candle here, how quick this can drop. Remember, it's a very fragile market when you get at these highs, guys, because a lot of the people who bought way lower than you are going to want to dump it. So, again, reinforcing that throughout the video. So, now that I've kind of ranted and raved on the market leaders here and how I think they're overextended, what's my alternative? Where is the valuation going to come in for the continuation towards $1 trillion? Well, I think you might see a continuation of these market leaders. I'm not trying to be negative on them. However, I do have to say that I believe it's going to come in the other coins. It's going to be on the smaller ones. So I made 2 swing trades today, and I announced it out to the Telegram groups. The first one was in storage. So as we go down here, we'll take a look here at the chart, and I'll show you my whole kind of thinking process with these trades, guys. Again, I always apply very simple technical analysis as well as just general kind of fundamental analysis in regards to price action and volume. And you don't need a lot of crazy technical indicators. I didn't even use any moving averages here. It was simply based off price action and volume. And I'll go ahead and show you guys my logical thinking. So first and foremost on storage here, I saw that there was obviously a breakout. We got some great volume coming into the price action here, and we also had a correction in the price here for about 4 days, a nice healthy correction after a breakout, but the majority of the gains were held, so this acted as a bull flag. So that's a very positive sign. It's price strength confirmation in regards to technical analysis, and that gives us a sign that things could continue to move higher. Well, notice how afterwards we're starting to hold here around 15,000 Satoshis, and it's looking like we might be able to curve up and come back up to these highs. That's my personal objective for it, because there's really two things that really caught my eye. The fact that, one, we had a bull flag here, and second off, the volume that came in. This was institutional volume because, if you think about it, for example, storage is trading around this price range for about $2 something. 5.6 million storage traded over the past day means that there was some institutional trading, some whales or whatever you want to label them as, big players coming into the space and trading it. And you can obviously see that the selling volume hasn't come to match. The sellers haven't sold their position. They're still holding it quite well. So that means that the institutions or the larger players are still holding strong. They see the price going higher, and the institutions have the volume. They have the capital to move markets. So because of that, if you see a formation like this where it's flagging out, there's no selling, it's just a healthy correction, they take opportunities like this to add to their position and hopefully help press it to move higher. So again, I saw this. I made a swing trade position on it today, and I'm still looking for a target somewhere around the 22,000 to 25,000 range. That's where I'm looking at. Storage has in the past had very nice breakouts, so it could very well follow through as well if it holds this volume. Another one as well that I was looking for in regards to the smaller cryptos is Vibrate. This one has gotten me more interested than storage. If we take a look here at the chart, you have two very similar things. First off, you have, again, not using any crazy technical indicators, the technical formation here. You have a cupping in the price action where the price action is cupping upwards, hopefully looking like it wants new highs. Not to mention, you've had the huge institutional buying here, the millions of dollars worth of volume here, and then you've had no selling action to meet it. There's no selling over here. The volume down here is minimal. You might have had a drop in the price action, a slight correction, but that's tended to happen after you've had a big order like that. The market just tends to trade the price a little bit lower. But it held the majority of its gains here at 25,000 or 2,500 Satoshis, and the volume, the institution, has not sold their holdings, the institutional players, whoever they are. So we can tell what they're doing because they've got all that volume there. We can tell that they're still in it, they're still long term, and because of that, this could have more room to go up. So these are the kind of things you want to look for in the market, guys. Again, not trying to say you should go for the crap coins or anything like that, but you've got a lot of players here that are now valued in the millions of dollars, and they offer good trading opportunities to double or triple in valuation with how much this market is moving. Again, with Ripple, if you want to get a double, you're going to need the valuation to go to $240 billion. It's much easier for a coin going from 250 million to 500 million than for Ripple going from 140 billion to 280 billion. Okay, I'm letting you all know that's kind of like my thesis on the market and stuff. You've got a lot of smaller players that have a lot of room to go. Ethereum, you want to double that? Needs $200 billion. You're getting close to Bitcoin levels there. Ripple would need to double its value. If it doubled its valuation, it'd have to surpass Bitcoin. And that's definitely a long shot in my opinion. I think for any coin to pass Bitcoin would be ridiculous. But anyways, that's my opinion. You guys get to assess it for yourselves. And I would love to hear it down in the comments down below with all the craziness. And I don't want to, just be a big megaphone talking. I'd like to hear what you all think down in the comments down below, guys. I know this is a crazy time in crypto markets, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you all. And I think it's a very rewarding feeling because we are definitely early adopters in the space. Hopefully, I would hope that most of you out there get the technology and are really passionate about it, really passionate about blockchain and decentralization, and hopefully making some great change over the long term with this tech rather than just worrying about the price action. But again, got to be fair. Price action is exciting right now, guys. It feels great to be invested in this market, and I hope that all of you are doing very successful in your trading and investing. All right, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.